You're watching PowerNation. Today on Detroit Muscle, we put the finishing touches on our EBC Mustang and look back at all the blood, sweat, and tears it took to get us here. Plus, we'll take a trip through time to show you how the Mustang has evolved from pony to powerhouse. And then later, we'll unveil our meme machine at SEMA in Las Vegas. Hey guys, welcome to Detroit Muscle. This is our 70 Mustang that we've been working on. It's been kind of a labor of love. It's got all the goods, plenty of power under the hood, suspension that's gonna make it a tyrant out on the street, and she's a looker.
If you guys have been following along, obviously our fastback has come a long way with all the wrenches we've been turning on it. If it caught your eye before, we can guarantee it, you're really gonna like her now.
Well, first thing you do is you assess the paint and understand what the paint is and how soft it is, how hard it is, how many scratches, are they deep scratches, are they swirls, so on and so forth. Then you assess what products to use, what pads to use. In our case, we brought the arsenal not having seen the car before. We've seen pictures, obviously, so we knew that we had some work to do. We went ahead and we went with Ultimate Cut and Perfect Finish with a wool pad, a hybrid wool pad, and we'll finish it out with a medium polishing pad. When you're cutting a car, basically what you're doing is you're removing a very, very thin layer of clear coat that has been scratched, or that there's small swirls from automatic car washes or whatever. So that's the cutting stage, where you're cutting off a very, very thin layer of clear coat to remove those scratches that are in that clear coat. And then buffing it, you're basically gonna bring back that layer, a fresh layer of clear coat, and polish it out so it really provides a lot of gloss. One of the challenges a lot of times is not knowing what, if you don't know the history of the car and you don't know how much clear is remaining, and sometimes you may err on caution to maybe not, there are products out there where you can gauge the thickness of the paint or thickness of the clear coat. So yeah, a lot of times it may be okay because there's just not that much clear left on the paint. Yeah, the hardest part is definitely the hood for a couple different reasons. A lot of activity usually goes on the flat areas, but also that's kind of the money shot. That's the part where people always come up and they look and they'll feel it, and so anything that's flat, those are the most difficult parts all the time. Sonax is a 71-year-old company, family-owned business, and distributed in over 100 countries around the world. We've been here in the United States for a little over 10 years and have really started to grow the business here in the U.S. I'm always amazed with the Sonax products, especially in the cutting stage, because traditionally, most products, when you've cut, it'll leave a nice haze where you can actually see that layer that you've cut off, kind of like a wood when you've sanded it and you see that rough part. So that's kind of the same way that traditionally it used to be. The way that our cutting or our compound product finishes out is absolutely amazing to me. And every time I do the cutting stage, or I see the cutting stage done in that first wipe, when you actually see how it glosses out for a cut, it's truly amazing. It truly is an art, and the ability to take paint that has defects, obviously, and bring out the shine and bring out the gloss without doing damage to the paint, it truly is an art.
The transformation that our reflection has made is substantial, and those Sonax guys sure did make it look really easy.
They really did, but we couldn't stop there. We needed to give our car a little bit more style. So we hit up the guys at Wrapped Up to add some lines on our fastback to really make this thing look like it's doing 100 miles an hour standing still.
We start with a rendering, just a visual representation of what the customer wants, and then we turn it into a reality. Well, it really all kind of revolves around surface preparation, getting the car clean, getting all the emblems off, taking it apart, getting it prepped. Once you have it prepped properly, everything from there kind of goes pretty easy. You just stick in the middle, work up, work down, and make sure you heat it when you get done. The biggest challenges with these cars is definitely the corners, the deep recesses, making sure you get every inch of the film post-heated to 180 degrees so that it stays looking good for a long time. Most 3M materials guaranteed a clean removal for about 3 years. After that, you might have a little glue residue up to 5 to 7 years. You definitely want to look for cracking in it. If you ever see any cracking, go ahead and remove it so that it doesn't damage the paint underneath. You should never wrap black plastic on vehicles. The trim plastic, it's silicone based, so it doesn't stick very well. The biggest no-no that you could do on a car is cutting on it. You always want to use knifeless tape, you know, to make sure that you're not destroying a customer's car, you're making it better for them. I like the freedom of it. My creativity gets to come out a little bit. It's an art form to me, and it's part of taking something that looks either okay or crappy and turning it into something beautiful. And I get to play with stickers all day, every day, you know.
This thing's a lot more than just some shiny paint and fancy stickers.
With our Supercharged Coyote, whoever wins this car, they can daily drive it or even take it to the track.
Coming up, we take a look back at everything that took this car from conception to completion.
Hey guys, welcome back. This old Mustang has come a long way over the past couple of months.
And the road to our success has taken some work to get us here. The canvas that we're starting with is definitely a presentable piece. It's got the classic styling, the iconic look, and the good old small block rumble. But for the car that we're planning to build, a lot of this stuff has to go.
Go ahead.
The first thing we're getting out of the way is the power plant.
Keep going. Right forward.
That old small block Ford wasn't by any means a bad engine, but it definitely didn't have the power output
There you go.
that we're craving. This was only the beginning of the removal process for our performance transformation. Next on the chopping block was the suspension. After a lot of beating, banging, bolt pulling, and wrangling, snatching and prying, it was time to move to the backside. This old school technology of leaf springs rides pretty sweet. But for the performance enhancements we're making, these will just become some inventory that we can exchange for some beer money.
Yes, sir. Come on up with it.
That's not nearly as heavy as I thought it was gonna be. If you're slinging sparks, that means you're in for some serious modifications. And that's exactly what we're doing. This rear suspension kit is only a single ingredient of the recipe for one sweet Mustang. A couple of these may take a little wrestling to get them in there, but nothing a tool of persuasion can't handle.
Get in there, you turkey.
Sometimes when you get to digging in on a car of this age, you'll find some flaws.
Man, that's a lot of rust.
But when you've got skilled hands like Josh, it's just another day at the office. By the looks of these goodies stretched out in the floor, well, it's easy to see that our EBC Mustang is gonna be one heck of a ride. Sure, there's a lot of work going into this car, but it always is. No matter if you're doing a restoration or a rejuvenation. These EBC brakes are hot off the press. They're the first setup of its kind for this application. We've used EBC on several projects, and we're always impressed with their performance.
Now with the handling and the braking taken care of, next we needed to drop in the power plant. Now with a car of this caliber, the choice was easy, a supercharged Coyote.
A whole lot of motor. If you're into Mustangs and late model performance, you'd sure enough be proud to have this thing sitting under your hood.
Now I'm just gonna be honest, guys, it would be a sin to put an automatic in a car like this, so we went ahead and put the good old 5-speed banger in it.
American Powertrain had everything that was needed to make our dreams come true for converting from that old slush box to a standard trans.
Now, we got the big power, we got the stopping power, and we got the maneuverability with all the handling upgrades. But all of that is pointless unless we can put it down to the ground.
Continental Tire had exactly what we were looking for with their ExtremeContact Sports. We're running two 45-35 R18s on the front and a 295-35 ZR18s on the rear. Wheels can make or break the style and attitude of your build. These American racing wheels in an 18x11 definitely complement the timeless style of our American muscle. Old school muscle has style and a silhouette that's unmistakable. We wanted to complement that with some aggressive yet tasteful interior. TMI provided us with some top-notch interior styling to make sure the inside was just as impressive as the outside. Sometimes people think of upgrades as just something mechanical, but we wanted to include trick stitching, bolstered seats, and a new look from head to toe for our Mustang to be complete.
Now, after countless busted knuckles and some late nights, she's ready to go.
Up next, we'll travel back in time to give you a history lesson about the best-selling muscle car of all time. Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. You know, Mustangs have been popular from the beginning. Performance and these kind of go hand in hand.
And if you're a fan of these rides, you're really going to enjoy this bit of history.
Mustang, the original. Mustang, 3 new ways to answer the call of Mustang.
If you're wanting to discuss the Detroit muscle, Mustangs are definitely a subject matter that will be mentioned. And several of them have their place in the history books. Some are for the better, and others not so much. The little pony got bigger and badder as the 60s came to a close. Trans Am Racing spawned the Boss 302 and the Boss 429. It was so big, they had to modify the suspension. The Mustang muscled its way into the 70s, but gradually the oil crisis and the EPA regulations took their toll on performance. In '74, it was stripped down to an economy gas sipper called the Mustang II, and sport versions had more bark than bite. 5 years later, the Mustang was resurrected with a fresh look on Ford's new Fox body, ushering in a new era of performance. The GT package returned in '82, and the '83 models got a 5-liter engine with 175 horses, the most since the '71 Boss 351. For the 4th generation, Ford brought back the classic styling cues of the original, like side scoops, 3-element taillights, and the signature long hood and short deck. When the pony car turned 40, it was time for another revamp. This time, Ford really went retro, bringing all the elements of the original design into the 21st century. It was an instant hit with the public, reigniting muscle car fever and spurring Chevy and Dodge to play catch-up. Not to be outdone, Ford unleashed a bold new version for 2010, one that added a more aggressive stance to that iconic style. For almost a half a century, the Mustang has proven that it's one wild horse that won't be broken. I'm a big fan of the '69 and '70s, and maybe one day I'll have one of my own.
Moneybags over here. I'm surprised it doesn't have 3.
Keeping your ride looking like it just rolled off the assembly line can be a lot of work. Everyday normal wear and tear can do a lot of damage, having your paint and chrome looking worse for wear. The longer you wait between washes, the longer it takes to get you back to styling and profiling. But that's where Armor All has you covered. With their all-new ceramic line of car care products, you'll need less elbow grease to get rid of all that grit and grime. The new Extreme Shield Plus Ceramic Car Wash uses a patent-pending technology to create a protective barrier that will enhance water beading and help repel dirt and other surface contaminants. Using advanced chemistry, Armor All engineers formulated this enhanced car wash specifically for long-lasting shine and durability. So your car can stay cleaner longer in between washes, which sounds good to me because I like to spend less time washing and more time driving. After you've rinsed off your vehicle to get rid of dirt and debris, mix a couple of ounces of concentrate with water and apply the wash in 4-foot sections to ensure an even application. After you've given your vehicle a good once-over, be sure to thoroughly rinse it off. Once your vehicle is good and dry, you'll have a protective hydrophobic ceramic barrier that helps repel dirt and improve water beading. Armor All also has their Extreme Shield Plus ceramic tire coating to keep your wheels looking good too. It creates a non-greasy protective barrier to repel dirt and road grime so it won't stick to your tire surface. Be sure to start with a cool, clean tire and evenly apply the Extreme Shield Plus ceramic tire coating. Armor All silica-based technology rejects water, oil, and dirt to keep you cleaner longer, which is key for a big truck like this. Bigger the tires, bigger the target for dirt and grime to latch onto. You can get these Armor All products at your local auto retailer so that you can everyday proof your ride. Coming up, we load up our EBC Mustang and haul it out for one of the largest automotive events on the planet. Here at PowerNation, we've had two big builds going on at the same time. Both of them have supercharged Coyote power and modern conveniences, all in an old school package. After getting these rides loaded up in their fancy covered wagon, they'll set off for their long journey, chasing the sunset out west. Hey guys, welcome back to Detroit Muscle. We've been thrashing on that Mustang to bring it to one of the largest events in the automotive industry, and that would be the SEMA show. But James has been quite the journey building this car to get it here under the lights at SEMA. Man, it's a pure honor. Now, I know you haven't really seen it until now. What do you think?
Well, seeing it in the metal, Tommy, I absolutely love it. It's zinging. Under the bright lights, it's shiny, everyone's looking at it, everyone's talking about it, everyone's scanning that barcode to try and win it.
Yeah, well, let me take you on a little road trip of what we've done.
Brilliant, let's go.
So what we started with is a 1970 fastback Mustang. Polished its reflection to a brilliant shine using some Sonax polish, then added a graphics package to complement its performance and style. Here on the interior, man, we really gave this thing the goods. It has a full TMI interior, the traditional wood grain steering wheel, and it has to have that manual gearbox in the floor.
And of course, a coffee cup holder for a coffee on your way to the cruise.
Under here is where all the magic happens. We've got a supercharged Coyote making, well, plenty of power. And those massive EBC brakes.
Well, we're excited to be launching these 6 spots, Tommy, for many applications.
Well, James, it's been a sheer honor building this car. I'm proud to stand behind it, and I'm sure somebody's going to be proud to have it in their driveway.
100%, I'd be proud, but unfortunately it's got to go to someone else.
Well, we've got our Mustang back in the shop, and it sure has came a long way. Now, we've transformed this pony from kind of an old nag to a show-stealing, ground-pounding stallion. We've put a lot of time and effort into this car, and the last thing we want to do is leave it unprotected. If you're in the need for top-of-the-line preservation, Covercraft's form-fit car cover will pamper your ride's chrome and paint for maximum indoor protection. Covercraft's exclusive high-performance fabric will help protect your vehicle from minor dents and dings, as well as micro-scratch causing dust and debris. Covers come custom fit for your vehicle, and they're engineered to prevent heat and vapor from becoming trapped underneath the material, so your finish stays showroom fine year-round. Heck, you can even throw it in your washer and dryer to keep it as clean as your car. Covercraft's custom form-fit cover comes with a 4-year warranty, but if you take care of it as good as it takes care of your car, it should last well beyond that. Comes with a free matching storage bag and is manufactured and sewn together here in the good old US of A. Visit Covercraft to see which one works best for you. Now, if you guys will excuse me, I'm going to go take some well-deserved R&R, because after this thrash on this SEMA build and that quick trip to Vegas, I'm definitely wore slap out. We'll see you guys in a few. I sure hope you like what you saw on today's show, and until next time, y'all remember, keep it between the ditches.